Welcome to StopFake, the place where we set the record straight on fakes about Ukraine. I'm Marko Suprun with StopFake's latest guided tour through the Russian alternate reality. This week, we'll be stopping at the following disinformation sites. Russia, top importer of Ukrainian arms. The capital of Ukraine raises electricity costs to cover Eurovision expenses, and Ukraine has no heat and organizes public warming centers. So let's get to the details. Ukrainian and Russian media disseminated a story this week, claiming that despite the 2014 Ukrainian ban on doing business with the Russian Federation, Russia is the largest importer of weapons from Ukraine. The source for this story is the Stockholm International Peace Institute. According to the Institute's trade register, after the 2014 Ukrainian ban on export of weapons to Russia, the status of these transactions is unclear. Russian and Ukrainian media report that in 2015, Russia paid Ukraine $98 million for purchased weapons, and in 2016, that figure grew to $169 million. Ukraine's Channel 24 television station reported that the lion's share of Ukrainians' military exports to Russia were 218 engines for the Yakovlev Yak-130 jet trainer fighter plane. Now, the Institute website contains much more information than the figures presented in the table that Ukrainian and Russian media used as a basis for their erroneous story. You can even track the amount of arms bought and sold between any two given countries over the span of many years. This is where lazy reporting meets media manipulation, resulting in fake news. For example, selecting Ukraine and Russia on the Stockholm International Peace Institute's trade registry for the 2015-2016 period yields a table where almost every transaction contains this important notation, quote, engines all delivered to Russian producer of aircraft before Ukraine stopped exports to Russia in 2014, and more frigates ordered but cancelled due to Ukrainian export ban, or status of production uncertain after Ukrainian 2014 ban on military exports to Russia. The reality is that after 2014, Ukraine and Russia have not signed any arms sales agreements. Russian media are gleefully disseminating a fake story originally featured by the Ukrainian publication Vesti, claiming that residents of Kyiv will be paying more for electricity in order to finance the Eurovision 2017 song contest that the Ukrainian capital will be hosting in May. Meanwhile, the Kyiv city administration announced at the end of January that city residents would not be called on to finance the international contest, and any information to the contrary was simply false. Vesti cite Kyiv City Council member Alexander Pabat, who seemingly was told by city authorities that the city's electric grid would be upgraded to accommodate Eurovision, and the cost of the upgrade would be included in future consumers' electricity bills. Vesti already circulated a similar fake story in early January, which the Kyiv City Council dismissed as disinformation. Kyiv Deputy Mayor Oleksiy Reznikov denied that consumers' electricity bills would rise to cover Eurovision energy needs. He did admit that the city's energy grid needed maintenance and upgrading. Alexander Pabat, whom Vesti named as a source, also denies the story and said in a Facebook post that the publication completely twisted what he actually said. A favorite Russian disinformation topic this winter has been the frigid cold enveloping Ukraine and the population's alleged huge energy consumption in order to keep warm amid a failing, war-torn economy. This time, the site Ukrainian.ru has declared that Ukraine has run out of heat, and the Emergency Situation Service is rushing to open heating centers throughout the country. While the Ukrainian.ru does quote the head of the Emergency Situation Service accurately, the story headline, Ukraine without heat and organizing warming centers, is completely inaccurate and distorted. On February 16, Ukraine's emergency service met to discuss plans in case of an emergency heating shortage. Service Director Mykola Chechotkin outlined the proactive measures being taken to minimize the effects of such a possibility. According to the chairman of Ukraine's Ukrenergo national energy company, given current temperatures, Ukraine has enough resources to meet heating needs through March. As for the warming centers being opened in Ukraine, this is usual practice during particularly fierce winters. The capital, Kyiv, has over 100 warming centers where all who are in need of assistance are welcome. Most of these centers are close to markets where vendors work outside. StopFake has already debunked fake stories about catastrophically increased Ukrainian energy consumption and the possibility of Ukraine running out of energy before the winter ends. These fakes have in turn inspired other fakes about imminent energy price hikes and the legalization of the illicit trade in energy sources, in particular coal, with the Russian-occupied Donbas area. That's it for this week. Beware of fakes, be vigilant, and if you spot any disinformation about Ukraine, send it to us for a truth autopsy. Remember, consuming fake news is not only bad for your health and your brain, it's bad for the psychological climate of society. You start thinking up is down, so don't do it. I'm Marko Suprun, and this is StopFake. Thanks for watching.